Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got 3 replays in the Tier 6 American Premium Medium tank, the T31 Demolition tank. Now if you do like the video, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe down below as it really does help out the channel. And yes, the T31 Demolition tank. This is the regiment tank for this season that costs 30,000 regiment coins from the store. And as always, this is a PSA video that I tend to do when we're getting towards the end of the season and the end of the period where you can actually get this tank in the regiment tank store. And that is, the PSA is, the season is running out on Tuesday. So you've got another day to be able to claim this vehicle. But the PSA is to basically spend your regiment coins. Now, naturally, you might want to pick up this tank, but you might not also want to pick up this tank. You might want to go pick up some of the camos from the regiment store or just some of the stuff in there in general. So the PSA is go spend your regiment coins because by the time you hit Tuesday, so in a day or two's time, your regiment coins will be wiped as we start a new season. And then there'll be a new regiment tank to go earn or a new rewards in the regiment store that you have to then go and grind the next season's set of regiment coins for. So remember to go spend your Regicoins. That's your PSA, because there's always people that do forget or don't realise that the end of the season's coming up, etc. That's the whole point of doing this video, so that we got you covered. So the T31 Demolition tank, it is a funky, funky tank. It's one of those tanks that is exceptionally hit and miss, because when it hits, oh my lord, it's filthy. It's absolute pure filth, as Mr. Panzer IV-H just found out. But it takes a lot to be able to get it to do that, and it loves missing all the time. It is super unreliable, so that ability that you've just seen it do there, it doesn't always do it. But it can mean that it can be exceptionally memey. As it does have 2 modes. You can see here, we're trying to get some rockets into Mr. Skoda T25, but you can press left on the D-pad, and pressing left on the D-pad will let you do this, which is go into artillery mode, which will fire as a barrage mode, just like, say, the equalizer. So the moment you pull the trigger, it will fire all of the rounds left in the clip and a salvo, and you can't stop it from doing that. And while you're in the artillery mode, you're a lot slower to be able to move the tank as well, and I think the turret traverse is a little bit slower as well. So you generally lose that little bit of mobility in all sorts. And also I think the dispersions get worse on the T31 as well when you go into that artillery mode. So yeah, generally it's a very, very derpy tank. It loves missing, but you have the flexibility to either be a standard vehicle or an artillery barrage, rocket barrage vehicle as well, which again, when you're in the rocket barrage, it misses 90% of the shots with that rocket barrage, but it can be memey, and if you do catch something out sideways on and you can pen it quite reliably, oh my lord, you delete it, and you sit there going, oh my goodness me, that's filthy, I'll take it, that's beautiful. You know, it's one of those vehicles. It's one of those vehicles. So with the T31 Demolition tank, you do have absolutely no armour, stating it right now. You will get penned really easily. And you've got a 40 km/h top speed, 18 km/h reverse speed, 500 horsepower engine, which is 14.56 horsepower per ton ratio. Which means that, yeah, you do get to the top speed pretty decently, but you are very slow. Well, not very slow. You are very, very mediocre mobility. And in fact, actually, 40 km an hour is pretty slow for a medium tank. So it is a pretty slow medium. You got 20% internal fire chance, which is on the high end of fire chances. Again, when it gets shot in the engine block, it does like to get set on fire. You've got 1.6 on soft, 1.03 on medium, and 0.94 on firm, which means the terrain resistances are actually pretty good for the T31. They don't really hold the vehicle back. 43.45 degrees a second on the hull rotation speed means this tank does turn pretty quickly on its tracks, and a 40.36 degree a second turret rotation speed means the turret does also turn pretty quickly, which is quite nice. 477 metres of view range means you can spot for yourself quite nicely in this Tier 6 Sherman as well, which is pretty good. And a 370 metres of still concealment is, yeah, no concealment. Your concealment's poor on this vehicle. It's very, very bad. You will get spotted most of the time. Now we're getting to a point that is very bad. You got a 4.74 accuracy during rotation with a 5.6 accuracy during movement. Oh, Lord above, that's bad. That is very bad, and that means that the aim circle becomes huge as soon as you turn the tank and the turret. And that means you have to wait for the aim time, which is 2.5 seconds, which is still pretty bad, and means that you will feel the bad aim time. And with 0.51 accuracy at 100 metres, because yes, this tank does fire rockets, but it does have a dispersion, unlike a vehicle like the Monster Jaeger or the Night Stalker. Has dispersion. So 0.51 accuracy at 100 meters is, yeah, is shocking. It loves missing. Honestly, trying to get this thing to hit is a royal pain. You've probably seen that a little bit in this game. When it hits, it's filthy. But trying to get it to consistently hit is just, oh, goodness gracious me, it's not good. You do have a meme, though, and that is you have 15 degrees of gun depression, which is filthily great, and it means you can hit people when you poke over ridge lines really easily, and they will not expect you to hit them in certain locations as well, which, yeah, can be pretty filthy. You've got 27 degrees of elevation, but again, actually, because you can go into that artillery mode, that's why you have such good elevation. You've got an 18.79 second reload for this clip, which means it actually reloads the clip for its potential pretty quickly. But again, trying to get it to hit to be able to do its potential, yeah, good luck to you. Sometimes it works, sometimes it really doesn't. And it can be super frustrating for that for sure. You've got a 0.5 second intra-clip reload on this 5-shot rocket clip, which means it does fire them very, very, very quickly. And like I said, if you hold the trigger, you'll fire very fast. But because of the aftershock dispersion as well, that is dreadful. The aim circle becomes huge, and if you just keep holding the trigger down, or if you barrage in the artillery mode, it misses left, right, and centre. Honestly, the accuracy is dreadful on this tank. As you see, the first game finished with the 2.9k damage, 523 assistance, the first class, the high caliber, with the base XP score of 1979, which would usually be an ace. It's quite surprising that that's not an ace in the T31 there. But the reason I included that game is because that showed the hit and miss nature of the vehicle, where the gun can be a right troll and miss some stupidly easy shots, but then when it hits, oh yeah, it hits. So you've got 88mm penetration on the standard rockets, with 64mm of penetration on the premium rockets. So the standard penetration on the standard rocket is good enough to go through quite a few vehicles in the side and the rear, which again means that if you catch someone out, you can assassinate them so filthily. It can be like that, but again, getting the rockets to hit the right spot is also an absolute pain. And 64mm penetration on the premium rocket, with 250 alpha as opposed to the 300 alpha of the standard rocket, genuinely means that you're not really going to use the premium rocket at all, because the premium rocket has a better blast radius at 5.6 and a slightly better shell velocity at 330, which the whole point is it should be slightly better for that artillery mode, because you get a slightly better shell arc as well as a slightly better radius for where the shells hit to be able to blast damage. But having the lower alpha and the lower pen just makes it not worth it, to be honest. You're going to just use the standard rocket all the way, as you do have that 1500 clip if you do use that standard rocket. So yeah, you're just going to use the standard rocket, to be honest. Don't even bother with the premium. You have a 150% silver bonus as well on this vehicle, which means it actually makes really good silver for a tier 6 tank, which is also quite nice for saying you can get this thing completely for free just by playing with your platoon mates in regiments and stuff like that. So what do I run in terms of a crew and equipment for the old T31 demolition vehicle? Well, I run Born Leader, Situational Awareness, Run and Gun, Snapshot, Rapid Aim, Clutch Braking, Radio Jamming, Comms Expert, the Armour Angling with Vents, Optics, GLD, and the Binoculars. So I take the GLD to get the aim time to be faster, because the aim time's terrible. Optics and Vents to get the best view range and the best everything about the vehicle as much as I humanly can do. Binocs, because I just realised I boo-booed. Binocs, I get view range up to 477 metres with binoculars. It's actually 438 metres of view range on this vehicle with just optics. So we still get the view range up as high as possible with the optics, but then when I'm stationary on artillery mode, and I'm going to be stationary when I'm in artillery mode, I can get the binocs up, which will help me spot people coming after me easier, getting it up to the 477 metres of view range when I run binoculars, which is why I run it. Sorry, that was my boo-boo. We run Radio Jamming and Comms Expert to keep things lit up for longer, while also getting unspotted quicker, with the Snapshot and Run and Gun again to get the accuracy during rotation and movement down as low as possible, as it is absolutely awful, so you really want to help it out if you can. Rapid Aim and Clutch Braking to get the track traverse to be better, as well as the turret traverse, because again, it's nice to have it turn really, really fast, and then the other two perks are generally run on every tank in this mode. So yeah, it's one of those things. You could definitely again change up the setup for this vehicle. You could run the armor hardening in conjunction with the armor angling instead of binocs, for example. Play a bit more aggressive where you want to try and assassinate people, and means that reducing the amount of damage coming to the tank by 10% as a combination. Again, really down to you and how you want to kit it out, as it's the best way you can get a vehicle to be able to perform for you. But you could also, instead of vents, for example, run the turbocharger to go at 42 kilometers an hour. Again, it's really down to you and how you want to kit it out. So this second replay here on Ensk has been sort of the perfect game for the tank, where we've managed to keep cashing people out and just clipping out, as we're up to that nice target of 3.2k damage with 747 assistance damage. So what you're seeing me do here is be in artillery mode. Now with artillery mode, what you want to do to be able to go and shoot on the sector you want to aim at, like you've just seen me do there, is you need to go onto the big map and press Y on the sector where the enemy tank is to be able to get the shots into them. The thing with the T31, which is different to artillery, is I have to hold the left trigger and then go into the big map to be able to do it. If I take my finger off the left trigger and then go into the big map, I can't do what I've just done. So bear in mind, if you want to get exactly that kind of aim that we just did there, you hold the left trigger down, go into the big map, press Y, and then it'll take you to the sector you want to aim in. As we finish the game there with the ace tank of the Top Gun, the high caliber, with 2.4k base XP. That's a very, very good base XP game there for the T31 in a very, very nice matchup. And yeah, that's just the T31, like I say. It's very, very hit and miss. That when you get those games that you've just seen there, oh my lord, it's just utter filth. And you can keep clipping things out, keep the damage going. And you can also keep up with the battle as well, because if you get into those positions like we were on Ensk there, where we were managing to get the shots in and then pull back, you can clip out, and then we got to that end game scenario where we were never going to get anywhere near that VK3001H. Or the other dude on the other side. We just pressed left on the D-pad, because you remember you got to press left on the D-pad to get the artillery mode to activate, and went, okay, now I'm going to artillery. And we fired 5 rocket salvo at that VK3001H, and 4 out of the 5 missed. But 1 hit and 1 penned, giving us that 300 damage to get the 6th kill, you know? All it takes is that 1 shell. So this third and final replay is, yeah, this is a filthy replay. We're in a bottom tier matchup on Wide Park. We're in a tier 8 game, and this game is gonna go hot. Oh my lord, it's gonna be filthy. It's gonna be pure filth, and we're gonna love every second of it. So we're here on this map, which is Wide Park. On Wide Park, I want to come to this position here at F678, and this is why. Oh, hello, Mr. AMX65T. Well, we missed 1, but we managed to get another 4 in. And we've done 779 damage to that tier 8 heavy tank with 135 assistance. Now, if all of those shells had hit the exact right spot, we could have clipped him out in that 1 clip. Could have done. But naturally, we need RNGesus to behave. So we're nearly loaded again. And hello, Mr. 65T. Did you forget about me? Okay, I had terrible shots, but we did get the tracking shot in. Trying to make sure it's aimed. We set him on fire, get the final shell in, and he's gonna burn, baby, burn. Burn, baby, burn. It's exactly what that 65T did. And we got all of the health of that tier 8 Tech Tree heavy tank, which is a glorious time. And we're nearly loaded yet again, and Mr. Tiger 1 is a tank that I would really like to say hi to. So we're going to try and angle for a shot here into Mr. Tiger 1, but we're being as careful as possible again to not give ourselves an easy shot away to the enemy teams, because again, we want to try and conserve some of the hit points. So we get 2 shots there into the Tiger 1, trying to get rockets here into this T37. You can see the turret traverse. We couldn't quite keep the turret traverse in line with the T37 there. Trying to get the rockets into the Type 64, but as you can see, it's a bit awkward with the shell velocity, and we hit the train car. Once again, there's the derpiness of the gun, the shell velocity in general, because the shell velocity on the rocket is, yeah, it's 300 meters a second, which is slow. So you have to give a lot of lead to be able to hit targets, and it can be a royal struggle to get these shots to go in, but yeah, there we go. So we're nearly loaded. We've got the enemy team looking at us in the distance, like Mr. Porlack tank here. So we're going to go into the arty mode, because this way I don't have to expose myself to be able to try and do some damage to him. So we get the rockets out. We actually hit the Cromwell. We weren't even aiming at the Cromwell, but we hit the Cromwell and penned the Cromwell and did about 80 damage to the Porlack tank, because, yeah, that's the rocket barrage. They're so inaccurate, it's unbelievable. And we were so inaccurate that we hit a tank that we weren't even aiming at. So I suppose we'll take it. We get another rocket barrage out towards Mr. Porlack tank. 2 shells hit him, so we do about a grand total of 150 damage. We're up to 3.1k damage with 214 assistance, waiting for that reload once again. Now, you've got to be careful with the T31 demolition tank as you are firing these barrages, these salvos out of this gun. It's quite easy to just sit here doing this. And then you look at your ammo count and go, oh. Oh, I'm running out of ammo. Oh, that's quite awkward, you know? So, do keep an eye on your ammo count, because that could be quite awkward where you run out. So we see the M40-43, and I'm sitting there going, oh, I want it. I want it. We get the barrage out, the rockets fly in, get out of here, Mr. Tier 8 artillery. We secure the third kill of the game there, up to 3.6, no, 3.7k damage. And again, this is why we like having the arty mode, because we have the flexibility to go and delete things like we did to the 65T and the Tiger, and the flexibility to do exactly what we're doing here to the T32 and the Porlac. So we fire the rocket salvo into the T32, and as you can see, out of 5 rockets, well, actually, we hit him 3 times. Only one did damage, and we did a grand total of 40. Because, yeah. But we're seeing the next victim, Mr. Astron Rex. So we are now loaded. We go over. The terrible choice of shot there. But this time we can try and aim up for that rear. And again, we're just waiting for the gun to get fully aimed in to be able to pen him there with 2 of the rockets at least. And we do a significant amount of damage to that Tier 8 American Premium Medium Tank. And we're up to 4.5k damage in a Tier 6. With 592 assistance. 2 seconds out. Then we'll be able to shut down Mr. Astron Rex. Fire it in. And get rid of that Tier 8 Premium Medium Tank. There's 2 vehicles left on the enemy team, the TD and the Medium Tank. We know the TD is somewhere in front of us. In fact, the TD gets shut down by the Vizilla, just leaving the M4A3E8, Mr. Easy 8 Sherman. So we're just going to try our best to get there. I don't really expect to get there to be able to get any shots into Mr. Easy 8 because, well, he's getting closed down by our team. But you never know. I want to pick up my 5th kill. It'd be quite nice to be able to do that. So we come round the corner, aim up. Hello, Mr. Easy 8, and we don't get the kill. We hit him, tracked him, did a bit of damage, and he got killed by the 45 TP. Oh, okay. And we finished the game with 4 kills, 4,600 damage, 597 assistance damage. The Ace Tanker, the Scooches, the Leather Schleilos for killing 2 tanks 2 tiers higher. The High Caliber for 2,800 base XP. A really amazing game there for the T31 in a bad matchup for it. And again, yeah, this tank, man, when it hits, oh, good gravy, it's filthy. But you've really got to make it hit because it loves missing, and it's so frustrating for that. So don't forget to spend your regiment coins. Season's ending. Don't forget to spend them. As always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
A great success!